we had to talk to Walsh World's board of directors, and we had to do a lot of negotiating in order to get you on this podcast. So it wasn't easy. Our board of directors is me, Claudia, and Kennedy. And they were pretty against you being on here, but I vouched for you. So don't fuck this up. So I have this jar right here. Every time you say something offensive or idiotic, you got to put $1 in the jar, like a swear jar for kids.
You have to put a tooth.
The jar take Venmo?
The jar does take Venmo.
You have to take one of your dentures out and drop it in there.
You're getting there. How many teeth have you had pulled recently? You have to talk in the mic.
Yeah, I don't have any dentures.
You can keep it in front of your face.
The little thing on your neck.
You have to hold it like this.
Even fucking dumber.
Like you're on a TV show.
This is the first. It's not a penis, Dad. This is the first time Papa Walsh has been on a podcast, so he might be a little bit nervous. So bear with us. We might need a bathroom break in between the podcast.
That's a lie.
You don't get nervous. That is a complete lie.
Change. That's really disturbing.
Your pink shirt is disturbing.
Well, what's wrong with what she's wearing?
It's too fucking orange.
Is it blinding you? I thought you can't see.
Fucking sherbet ice cream.
I like it.
You can't see.
It's like a traffic sign.
Okay, Dad. So, are you okay there?
Yeah, I'm cracking my neck.
How much medication are you on right now?
I took a muscle relaxer and an oxy before I came over.
Jesus, why are you on that?
Because I'm in serious fucking pain.
Oh my God. Well, why are you in pain? What's wrong?
Are you going to a pain clinic?
Been going for 2 years.
What's wrong with you right now? What's the main problem?
Arthritis in my spine, stenosis in my spine, and there's 2 discs that are completely gone.
It's not looking good for us.
I don't know what that means, but it sounds bad.
It's really bad.
So can you get surgery to help that?
No. I went to a spine specialist, and he said you would absolutely have to be decrepit for surgery.
Well,
so I'm at least 10 years away from decrepit.
You can still walk, and you go to the gym, and you look good right now.
You get like
I look amazing right now.
Well, I know you love talking about that. Do you want to tell people how old? Oh, you already did. I was going to say.
I'm 62 in September.
What about like stem cells?
Yeah, that shit doesn't work.
How do you know? You've never tried it.
I researched it. It only helps 45% of the people, and even the people it helps, it's not that great. You can't replace a disc that's gone.
Well,
Mom got surgery for that.
Yeah, and she has 12 cats. It's not
11.
She's not even relevant. But did one die?
No, she only ever had
11 cats is a cry for help.
I do agree. Once you get past 10 cats, it's a little bit concerning.
Once you get past 3 cats, it's a cry for help. You need fucking help.
Good thing I only have 3.
Everyone has their addiction, though.
Yeah, and when you get that dog, you'll be treating those cats like stepchildren.
As if.
Damn.
My cats are my fucking
have you been watching Clueless recently?
Rooster.
You're dressed like somebody from Clueless.
This is not Clueless.
And you
this
just
is
said,
Mean Girls.
as if. That's literally the Clueless girl.
That existed before Clueless.
You want to be the Clueless girl.
Okay, what is this? Fucking roast Claudia? Like,
it's not Rose Claudia.
Between the two of you.
We're just bored.
I'm kind of blinded by your outfit that you got going on here.
Don't fucking look at it.
I can't. You look like the sun. I can't look away. There's everything in here is muted except your outfit.
Are cargo pants coming back in?
Cargo
pants are back in.
Yeah, and I got
Dad, I need to help you out.
I wore them and got busted on for wearing them.
Well, listen, I need to help you out
because you wear cargo shorts from 2000.
Well, listen, your style right now is lagging out. This style is from like 5 years ago. Your ankles are showing. That's not good. You can't show the ankles with sweatpants.
Your ankles are showing, and so are Cory's.
Yeah. When you look like me, I could wear a burlap sack and I'd still get attention.
I don't think
Maybe you should wear it. Maybe you should try it.
What?
Stop lifting up your arm.
Don't. People's mouth touch that mic and you just touched it to your armpit. That wasn't what you guys think it is for those of you who are listening.
And this is why he wasn't meant to be invited.
He hasn't done anything that bad yet.
Yes, he has.
No, he hasn't. This is good. He's on good behavior. No money in the swear jar yet. Dad, what are your thoughts on...
Stop kicking the wires.
What are your thoughts on Claudia You're literally a child. What are your thoughts on Claudia recently getting engaged? How do you feel? How do you feel that you're going to have another...
dumb.
How do you feel that you're going to have a second son?
Let me think. Well, I think it's a good thing for her because, she's high maintenance. A lot of shit to put up with. He's pretty even keeled. He's obviously raised well. And she's his problem now.
That's right.
It's a good match. It's a rare match, you know.
True.
And plus he travels a lot, so they're not up each other's ass constantly. And she's probably always looking forward to seeing him come home, I would think.
Yeah. Well, when Claudia was younger, you were always against her hanging out with boys. Why were you so concerned about that?
Because I'm a man and I know what men want to do to women, and I don't want that shit happening to my daughters. So if you have a daughter, you're gonna visualize sitting there going, you know, never mind, I can't talk about that.
I know what you were gonna say, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, you want to see your daughter
difference,
some guy.
well, what's
Why
the
would you
difference?
see
What's the
that?
difference with me? What if I was like 14 and my teacher wanted to
Yeah,
bang
it's a
me or
fucking
something?
high
Well,
five.
then you become a hero. Men.
What if she like kind of forced me into it?
Groomed you?
Yeah. What if she groomed me?
Yeah, it's just as fucked up. I just
Well,
watched
I would
a show about
expect
that.
you to come to me and say, "Dad, fucking teacher's trying to hit on me. What should I do?"
Yeah, I know what you would have said. What would you have said if I was younger?
Go for it, son.
No, that's not true. I think if you were...
I'd be like, I'll take care of it, and I would call the Board of Education and have that bitch fired.
Yeah.
That is more like your personality, actually.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in a gym class, and I would miss a lot of days of school because I would go to work with you all the time. And
Child labor.
I was failing gym class because I never showed up, and
You
they
got
only
a B. You
well
weren't-
no listen, they only graded on attendance, so I was literally failing gym class. I had like an E or a D or something. So he goes, and didn't you like call the gym teacher?
I called him first, and that was a waste of time. That was like talking to that pole out front. So I called the Board of Education and got that shit handled.
Yeah, he literally skipped through the whole education system and just called the board. And they basically passed me with a B because of that. I was like, this is...
Well, no, and then I called the principal, and that skinny ball-headed fuck was no use at all. So I said, okay, I'm going to call the Board of Education and hopefully have you fired. And so I called the Board of Education. They called him. He called me back, Mr. Walsh, I apologize. We're going to take care of that right away.
You're literally a psycho.
He probably going to give that kid a freaking beer. We're all done.
They probably just didn't want to deal with it. They're like, this guy's a psycho. Let's just like...
Well, the next
give
thing
him a
was
beat
going to
and
be
get on with their
a
lives.
lawyer calling the Board of Education. Then we were going to sue for mental anguish because you were damaged. And we would have been rich a long time ago.
And that's how fucking crazy people deal with their kids getting bad grades.
Yeah, literally.
No, that's how smart people deal with kids getting bad grades.
That's insane.
Was that a foot massager over there? Hook that baby up.
You can have the foot massager if you make it through this entire podcast without saying anything offensive. So
What's
you've
offensive?
already had like 2 violations. So 3 strike, you're out policy, like baseball. You're getting there.
What violations?
You had a few violations. We already
Calling
have to
the
cut shit out of
principal
Sitting
them.
here
Skinny
holding talking into a toy, and you're talking about
Talking, it's
violations.
a microphone.
Hey, you're the fucking pervert here.
It's a microphone. Maybe in another life you could have
Get
been like a
into a
singer or a
topic where he
performer or
can't-
an actor.
Where you can't twist it in weird ways.
Well, I was asking him about what he thinks about having a what would it be called, a son-in-law now? Son-in-law. And I have a girlfriend now. What do you think about my girlfriend?
Well, I haven't really talked to her much. I mean,
She's probably terrified of you. I would be if I was a random girl and met you. I'd be like, this guy's off his fucking rocker. Look at him. Your ankles are showing.
I made her food. So are yours, and you're wearing shoes from 20
yeah,
years
but your
ago.
ankles are showing. Your ankles are showing, and
They're
your
trendy
sweatpants are
now.
tight. You look like you should be at a gay bar.
I'll stop.
See, you say things to egg him on. Move on. Next
That's
topic.
what people want to see. They don't want to see some boring podcast talking about plants or food or
No,
don't
this is
talk
actually
about
this is going
fucking
better than
plants.
I.
watching Bradley Martin
This
talk
is going-
to sketch.
This is going better than I
That's
expected
only you
so
that's
far.
obsessed with that.
On to the next thing. So Kennedy's still not. She's the only one right now who's not in a relationship. What do you think about Kennedy still being the only single child?
I'm good with that.
Is she like you? Is she your favorite child? Why do you want her to
No, I don't
be the
have a
single
favorite
one?
child. It's like saying Cory.
You're talking to
Hold
the
your mic.
mic.
It's like saying Corey's my favorite child.
Okay, so we have a few topics here that we want to discuss that I think are super important to you, because whenever I talk to you on the phone or anything, it always ends up coming up in conversation. So the first one is, Dad, do you believe in aliens?
It's not that I believe in them. I know people that work for government, some contractors who have told me that they're real. So
Okay. They told you they were real. Are these also other fellow 60-year-olds on a lot of back pain medication?
no, the one was in his early 30s, and I can't talk about the other one.
Secretive.
Top secret.
Is this top secret information?
No, seriously, I can't talk about the other one. We can't. We can't keep this conversation going about that person.
Are you going to disappear if...
yeah, you can't just... You got to let that go.
We got to let it go. Okay. Well, if an
I'm
alien...
not even supposed to know. It was an accident.
It was an accident. If an alien existed, what do you think it would look like?
According to what are we conspiracy theorists, the government's classified 57 different species of other life forms.
How many specifically? 50?
57.
57. Well, I was thinking about this. You know the guys that they have on these alien documentaries who get abducted? And they talk about their experience.
Yeah, well, there was a movie made by a guy that was abducted back in the 70s, and he told his story, and they made a movie about it. I think Spielberg made the movie.
Well, you look like one of the guys who would get abducted and have one of these stories. You fit the profile perfectly.
Well, what about the things we catch at the 3-4 years ago? They got caught on the back ring.
What?
The videos of the stuff that got caught on the ring, our ring camera out back.
Dad, the bugs that fly around?
No, the thing behind the tree that took off into the air, the thing that with no wings moving, and the little ship that went by the patio and kept going.
Did you get this footage analyzed by an expert?
No, but you can put it in the video in the podcast if you want, and let people decide for themselves. Get Cory on it. Get little editor over there going.
So you said there was 50 species of
57.
alien.
Get it right.
57 species
That's
of
what they
alien.
were saying on Ancient Aliens.
So how would you describe?
I'm not really obsessed with it anymore. I don't even care about it anymore. I'd like to meet
now
one.
you don't care about it.
No, I don't even get into it anymore. I'm past that.
Did you get abducted? And
when I was a kid, I used to wake up.
Told you
when
not
I was
to do
a
anything?
kid, I used to wake up in different parts of my room in the morning, like under the bed, in the corner, and I don't know how I got there.
You think an alien dragged you under your bed?
I don't know. Could have been a neighbor.
Dad. Okay, serious talk.
Dad, cut that out.
Serious talk for a second. Were you ever by an alien?
No.
Are you
That
sure?
he knows of.
Have you ever had any foreign object?
Cut that out.
That's
what?
That's an accidentally.
I'm asking if an alien ever touched him inappropriately, and that's why he is scared to talk about aliens now.
No, I'm not scared to talk about aliens. I just I was
gave
into
up
it for
on
a
it.
while and got out of it. I was like, at the old gym, I was playing racquetball with a dude, and I brought up the fact that I went to Mexico and went to the pyramids at Chichen Itza, and I'm like, there's no way. They couldn't explain how these pyramids were built because they just had primitive tools. And he goes, all that shit's real. He goes, my job, he works for a government subcontractor. He said, I have a friend that does the same thing I do, and he's in the government building where they keep the alien bodies that they've recovered. And he left it at that. I said, are you serious? He goes, I'm dead fucking serious.
Well, here's my theory about aliens. I think if they do exist, I don't think they're in humanoid form.
They said President Truman had a treaty with the aliens. He traded their technology to let them abduct people and experiment on them. So,
What the fuck?
and that's never been proven wrong.
So what do you think is inside area?
Even Bush said President Bush Sr. that's dead now, he even said that in an interview that it was true and he knew a lot about it, and that's all he could say.
Mm.
Where do you think we came from? God. Oh yeah, God. I want to be a millionaire. Still fucking poor.
I don't think God works that way.
He doesn't work at all. He's on welfare.
So what do you think? Is it called Area 51 or 41? What is it called?
Area 51.
51. What do you think is inside Area 51 if you had to guess? Based on all of your knowledge.
That's just one. Apparently, that's just one of the things. There's a network of tunnels throughout the world. You can go from Australia to America through these tunnels on trains that are fucking super fast.
Australia to where? The U.S.?
America.
Here to
That's
Australia.
on the other side of the world. So you're saying there's a tunnel that goes under the ocean.
Do I have to
Do you know how
spell it
deep?
out for you?
Do you know how deep that is? Do you know how hard it is to even dive to the bottom of those parts of the world?
We have technology that's way beyond like this. This is like This is fucking ancient technology. I'm sitting here
It's
looking
ancient
at
technology. You still don't know how to
8 miles
use
of
it.
fucking cords. You got Cory over there on his fucking phone. You got a camera there, camera there. It's old shit.
Old shit.
Old shit. Okay, so what kind of technology do you think the government has that they have not shown
I think
people?
there's two different NASA's. The one have you ever seen that fucking thing they said landed on the moon? It looked like a kid built it out of like a model box.
Well, I wasn't born yet. You were a kid when they landed on the moon.
They didn't land on the moon. There's the Earth is surrounded by the Van Allen radiation belt. They couldn't even get through that shit.
Van Allen radiation belt. What is that?
It surrounds the Earth. It's like a protective shield. Look it up. Google it. Google it right now. Boy, Google that.
What is it called?
The Van Allen radiation belt.
Never
Okay,
heard of that.
So what were you saying?
I think apparently there's two different NASA's, one for the general public and one that really deals with, apparently we have a space force. People said that they were taken by the government and given enhancement drugs. And we're not talking steroids, fellas. We're talking hardcore shit. And they were trained. They had super strength and they were sent into these battles against people from other planets.
So this sounds like an Avengers movie to me. Do you think Avengers got the plot line from this conspiracy theory?
Avengers, a bunch of running around in fucking costumes. That shit.
What are
Those
we
movies
talking about
sucked.
the Avengers for? Anyway,
Because what he
it
said
says-
literally just sounded like an Avengers
It
movie.
says for 1 hour exposure in the spacecraft, this equals a total dose of 6 milli SV. I guess that's like the amount of radiation.
That means you're cooked.
It says so the astronaut in the Van Allen belt would accumulate a full year's normal dose in less than 1 hour of radiation.
I mean, you would still survive though.
Yeah, but they don't talk about that. You don't hear the government talking about that. Oh, we went to the moon. Yeah,
I will
right.
say, like,
Who took the pictures of the men on the moon?
well, if you think about it this
with
way,
the photographer.
they went to the moon back then, but like we are the most advanced we've ever been. Why wouldn't they be getting to the moon now? You know what I mean?
Well, there's a lot of things. So that was during the space race. It was a space race between the U.S.
There's
I think,
a dude
Russia,
that worked for
and
the
China.
government they interviewed that said there's technology that's 400 years advanced past what we have. What we have now is archaic. It's a joke.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, also,
I
like,
wouldn't be
here's the thing
surprised.
that I don't understand. Even if we want to go to the moon, what's the point? It's like a giant
We're already
rock.
on the moon.
There's other planets.
buildings on the moon. There's people working on the moon. They're mining stuff.
You think there's like a whole factory on the moon?
Same with Mars. All they show is bullshit. The pictures of Mars is some fucking
What do you
desert.
think? What do you think they're mining on the moon?
I forgot what it's called.
Like
They had a name for
stardust?
it.
You think this is Dune? Have you seen the movie Dune?
No, but I'm going to watch Dune 2. It just came on Amazon.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm going to pay the $29 and watch it. And if I'm disappointed, I'm going to be really pissed off.
Oh, you won't be. I think it's a fantastic
Did you
movie.
see the first one?
I'm going to what? Yeah, I watched the first one like 4 times.
So anyway, you think you think the government is on the moon mining some kind of ore?
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Okay,
People
I
with-
looked it up. It says, I said, what are they mining on the moon? Rare earth metals used in smartphones, computers, and advanced technologies are present on the moon,
I
including
told you.
We have.
scandium,
Hold on.
yttrium, and the
This
15
wouldn't. Okay. Listen.
lanthanides.
This wouldn't make any sense because there's plenty of resources that are still on Earth that are cheaper and more accessible. So why travel all the way to the moon and take that risk and that high expense in order to mine whatever fucking ore that they're saying is on the
Because
moon?
there's no competition on the moon.
Who's doing this?
America and Russia and China. We're all doing it together.
We get most of our stuff
China
from,
and
we
Russia
get most of our
aren't the
ore.
enemy. Everything we have is made in China. Your phone, these cameras, this stupid fucking microphone, those crazy orange fucking pants, all made in fucking China.
We get most of our ore and raw
Your
materials from
Nikes?
other countries.
Made in China, made in Czechoslovakia. Nothing's made in America anymore. The only thing made in America is the shit that we sell. Period. End of story.
And those pants you're wearing.
I got these on
Those are
Amazon.
definitely
I
made in
sent you
China.
a set of these. You're wearing them too.
Oh, those are the same ones.
Same ones.
Oh, yeah.
I just got bigger legs than you because I work them more.
Oh, do you? Those massive ankles of yours. Yeah, you're really putting in the
Fucking
work
calves are
there.
developed as shit.
I wouldn't say
They're
that.
fucking like steel.
Anyway, we have to get.
Okay, on to the next.
That thing looks like a fucking toothpick.
I think you need
Like a
to
giant potato under my skin.
you needed to drink some water. I think you're living off of coffee. You look a bit dehydrated.
No, I'm not
No, you
dehydrated
need-
at all. My pee is clear,
you
and I
need
drink water every
Aquaphor.
day. I don't drink that crap. I see Cory posting Alani all the time. Here's my latest flavor.
Cory's like the top male Alani Nu ambassador right now. He gets free shit sent to the house all the time. Unlimited energy drinks from Alani Nu because he always posts it on his
I
Instagram.
can't drink those things, man. Coffee doesn't make me jittery. I drink 2 of those and I gotta like
You'll be
crawl in a
shitting
corner.
Well, you
shitting your
cannot
brains
have 2
out.
Alanis. I can have maybe 1.
Well, this is what Claudia does with drinks. She
Don't fucking start.
I'm gonna start. She cracks it open. She takes like 3 sips because you know that feeling when you like crack open like a Coke or something,
Yeah.
and it's like the first sip and
That's
it's
the best
so
part
good.
of the drink. Everything else sucks.
That's what she likes.
No, because I only can have. I'm not someone that can chug drinks. I can drink water like normal. Anything else, I just like to have a little taste of it.
It's just like a woman. You get those drawers off, it's all good. And then it's like, I don't really have the energy.
Ew.
You can put them back on now, sweetheart.
Anyway.
Oh my god. Anyway, so when you were younger, you had a few different ghost encounters. One in particular was when you first got married to Mom,
on
and
their
you saw
honeymoon.
They
on
were
your
probably
honeymoon,
trying to warn me, son, you made a mistake.
you saw a figure at the end of your bed. Can you relive that moment for us?
I was just, I got up to pee because I had been drinking some champagne.
You have to set the scene of the.
Yeah, set the scene
Okay,
here.
we got married. We went to, drove 5 hours to somewhere in Pennsylvania where honeymooners go. I forgot what it's fucking called.
Poconos?
Poconos, yeah. It's some kind of fucking
Resort.
marital resort. And we had dinner, had some champagne, and went back to the room, and it's this like cheesy round bed, had a red heart-shaped tub, really fucking cheesy. And I got up in the middle of the night to pee, and there was a big screen TV, and back then they were like a big wooden box with a shitty screen and a plastic screen. And there was a dude standing there, and he didn't have a face, but he had a black hat and a black suit on, and he's just fucking standing there. And I started freaking out, and I like scrambled across the bed, and I was looking for the light switches. They were recessed like in the nightstands, and I'm fucking banging on it. And your mother's like, "What the fuck's going on?" I was like, "There's some motherfucker in this room." I turned the light on, and he was gone.
So what was he wearing?
Just all black.
Did he have a top hat?
He was the angel of death.
Did he have a top hat?
He had a hat, like
there's a common
old style
trend.
hat. The place was 50-some years old at the time, so it's just
Well, it's known to be haunted.
somebody
isn't it?
that stayed there.
So we took this
Maybe he wanted to
photo
watch.
at Mom's house. It was a photo of one of
Yeah, I saw
her
it.
models or something.
Claudia
And,
sent it to me.
yeah, and behind the model looked
Yeah,
like
that
a
was
little
so freaky.
pilgrim family.
They were pilgrims and holding a baby.
And they had little
fuck
hats.
that.
You could see the belt, like the buckle thing on their hat, like the pilgrims
Literally,
used to wear.
that photo is. I don't have any explanation, but it is like the most eerie photo ever. And I feel like it only got captured because this woman took it on a BlackBerry in the mirror, and it was behind her. And there's just no, like, it was a empty hallway with like paintings hanging, but like you can see it so clearly. It's
So Claudia,
wild.
if ghosts do exist, how would you explain it? What do you think it is?
I mean, I just think it's people that haven't like passed over to the whatever the other side is. That's like, I guess, the best explanation.
I think it's they're mad they had to go and they don't want to go and they're still hanging out.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
I mean,
there's
Gettysburg is haunted as shit. I mean, people take pictures in the summertime there all the time, and then they take a picture with a camera and there's nothing there, but they look at it. Now everything digital, and they look at it and there's some soldier dude in the background.
Yeah, for those
Honestly,
of you
I
who
would
don't know,
love to
the Battle of Gettysburg was one of the biggest battles during the Civil War in the early years of the U.S.
I would love to take a camera.
We live fairly close to it.
Yeah, we live about what was it, an hour or two?
From here, it'd be like an hour and 15 minutes probably.
Yeah, and we
from
went on a
Claudia's
ghost
house.
tour when we were kids, but it was brutal.
did?
He's got a big old golden retriever across the street.
He is too.
Remember we
Lurch
went
over
on the
there.
Gettysburg ghost tour?
I don't remember that.
How many people died in that battle? It was a ton.
Over 5,000.
It was
Holy
brutal
shit.
too.
They said there was a reporter in the 1800s after the battle was over. He said he was leaving Baltimore to go to Gettysburg to write the story and do interviews, and he thought there were rain clouds, and there were so many body parts from legs and arms being cut off because they just cut them off and throw them out of this church window.
It's insane.
He said there was hordes of flies, and he thought they were clouds.
Oh my god.
Yeah, people don't realize how brutal this was. It was so bad.
It was the bloodiest war of all time.
It was the bloodiest war because they didn't have enough like nurses to take care of the people. So they had to just chop off limbs. They couldn't fix it.
Those musket bullets hit, they didn't have like a lot of velocity, so they like didn't go in very far, but they did a lot of damage. Well, the Civil War was the bloodiest war. The Gettysburg wasn't the bloodiest battle. It was the bloodiest war of all times.
Yeah,
but they were just
crazy.
cutting off. They used this church as a hospital, and the doctors and the nurses were just, the limbs were so badly damaged that they couldn't be surgically repaired because they didn't have the technology back then. They would just saw them off and throw them out the window.
Oh my
Yeah, it's
God.
And there was
crazy.
just piles of them out there, and it was attracting the flies.
It's horrible.
So I've always wondered, where does that much pain and suffering go? Maybe it goes into,
It's still there.
yeah, maybe it's still there.
if you go to like they say the Farnsworth house is like the most haunted. Like you could take your girlfriend there if you want to do something creepy.
See, I would like going there, not at night. I would never stay there, but I would like to go there like with my digital camera that has flash and just take photos like around and see if anything gets in
Yeah.
the photos. Because I honestly think that iPhones can't necessarily pick up that. Like, I don't think that you can see that with
Well,
like an iPhone.
the thing with modern cameras is weird because they have flashes and everything and stuff. It can sometimes reflect off of things and just happen to look like something else. So it's really
Well,
hard
yeah.
to know if what you're getting is
That's why I feel like that my
what it
digital
actually is.
camera, because it's, you know, for a while no one was ever using them for photos. It wasn't like a thing. Now it's like they're back. But I feel like it takes such clear, like crisp pictures, and it doesn't trick your eye to anything. Like it doesn't like show things that aren't there. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, I have
Be
one more
interesting.
question. That night, were you on any kind of, were you intoxicated in any way?
No, I didn't really drink back then. I never did drugs.
So you just
Never?
woke up. You woke up in the middle of the night randomly,
I
and
had
you
to pee.
saw.
It wasn't random. I had to take
Oh,
a
you had to
leak.
pee, and you saw
I was
a
like
figure.
28 years old.
You saw a figure standing at the end of your bed. So how did that affect you? Were you like freaked out for the rest of the week on the honeymoon?
Yeah, I was ready to go home.
You were done.
I would have been too.
I was done. Yeah, we had one more night there and powered through it.
Were you on when you went there? Were you uncomfortable to begin with?
No, it was just, I thought it was a cool place. It was by a lake in the mountains. You know, it's like all wooded, just like when you go camping and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Was it summertime?
Yeah, it was June.
And then
Was that the only experience you've ever had with?
didn't you see him as a kid or something?
No, I didn't really see any as a kid. We lived in a 100-and-some-year-old house when we first moved up here,
Oh right.
and like 4:00 in the morning, there was like banging coming from the attic upstairs, and that place was really creepy because in the bedroom there was like a secret door, and then there was like a curved staircase that would go up, and up in the attic there was nothing there but one little table and a chair in the middle of the room, and there was claw marks on the doors, and the guy that was trying to sell us the house said that the guy had like a German Shepherd, and he must have like kept it locked up there, and that's what the claw marks were from. So I don't know if that's true or not, but when we moved in, there was like a ton of fleas and shit. We had to have the house bombed.
So wait, so did you ever live in a house where somebody like
No, he
passed
didn't
away?
finish what he was saying.
But
The banging.
oh yeah, so anyway, it's like 4:00 in the morning. All of a sudden, it sounds like somebody's hitting the wall with a bat.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke your mother up, and I'm like, "What the fuck is that noise?" She goes, "Oh, it's the construction." I'm like, "It's 4:00 in the morning. It's too dark to be," because they were building houses behind us, and it's too dark for that. And I said, "It's upstairs." And then it stopped, and we had a golden retriever hunter. I don't know if you remember him. Mm-hmm. He was always acting weird, and the house was like infested with mice. We would literally trapped over 100 mice.
Oh my God.
We would
100
set
mice.
4 or 5 traps up at night. As soon as we go in the bedroom, you start hearing them snap.
Were they
off.
just coming from the woods into the house?
They were already in the house.
They were already in the house.
Nobody lived there for a while. There was still horsehair.
You
and-
got a good
There was
deal on
still
that.
horsehair and mud in the walls. Now,
In the walls?
we ended up getting the fuck out of there and moving. Oh, well, here's the rest of the story. I haven't finished that, but we ended up moving to a brand new house, and that's the last time I'm living in a fucking old ass house. But after that, we decided we were going to move, and we were having a yard sale, and this old couple came up and said, "Oh yeah," because I had asked the guy trying to sell us the house. I'm like, "What happened to the owner?" He said, "Oh, he moved to Littlestown, Pennsylvania," and this old couple came to the yard sale we were having, and he goes, yeah, a friend of ours used to live here. And I said, oh yeah, I heard he moved to Pennsylvania. He goes, oh no, he had horses out back because it used to be a small farm, and he had a heart attack in the middle of February and froze to death out back and died. And I'm like, really? And these two young kids, we were on a sharp curve because it's in Finksburg, and they got in an accident and asked if they could use the phone because not everybody had a cell phone back then. And they told us the same thing. The guy had died, and they found him dead out back.
So you think he was potentially in the house?
I think that was him banging on the freaking walls at night, because that was fucking creepy. And I'm like, I'm done with this place, and moved to the brand new house in the woods.
Was this like loud banging? Like clear loud banging?
You could hear it if you were at that house over there. You could hear it.
Oh, it was that loud.
It was loud as fuck. It woke me up.
Do you think someone broke in?
No, I got up and looked around. The doors were locked. I'm like a fanatic about locking doors at night.
Well, I went to a cabin with Kate recently, my girlfriend, and we woke up in the middle of the night. This cabin was pretty isolated in the middle of nowhere on a mountain type thing, and then there was a river beneath, and we woke up in the middle of the night because it sounded like something was walking on the roof, and it was like a tin roof, so it sounded like somebody was going like, and just like,
ew, I wouldn't
like
go to sleep.
Walking on the roof. So she was freaking out. I'm usually pretty calm in these situations, but she was freaking out. And because she was freaking out.
Did it sound heavy, or it could have been a raccoon?
It sounded pretty heavy, actually. Yeah, it sounded like footsteps. And because it was a tin roof, it sounded even louder.
Bigfoot.
I don't know. I have a lot of, it might have been a Bigfoot. Who knows? Oh, I wanted to ask you about Bigfoots too, but we'll get to that. Anyway, she was freaking out. I pretty much couldn't go to sleep for the rest of the night because she was panicking about it. And this place was pitch black.
Why didn't you
couldn't
walk
see
outside
anything.
and check?
Well, because this is what happened. There was a light that was on the porch. And as soon as we started hearing the footsteps, the light on the porch turned off.
Oh my God.
So it just went pitch black. And I'm like, I'm not going fucking outside. I'm not getting killed. Because if I got killed, then she's in there by herself.
What if someone was walking around there?
What am I going to do?
I don't know.
It's dark as shit. Like, I'm going to walk out there and just get whacked in the head with a bat. I'm like, there's no winning. If I go out there, they know where I am, and I don't know where they are.
How would the light have gone off?
Well, I'm going to explain. So we made it through to the next morning. Surprisingly, we didn't die. Luckily, I wouldn't be here right now if I was dead. So we made it through to the next morning, and it was the sound on the roof was rain, because it rained that night, and somehow the rain sounded like footsteps. It made no sense, but it was rain. And then the light on the front porch was an automatic light that turned off. So we got in our head.
At a certain hour.
Yeah, it turns off at a certain hour. And it was like 2 a.m. when it turns off, which is a really weird time. And
how would you have proved that was rain? You have no idea. It could have been something else.
Because it rained that night. We woke up and it was raining.
Okay, that doesn't mean that the rain was the sound.
I'm pretty like...
Yeah, rain's not intermittent like that. I'm like footsteps.
I'm 95% sure it was rain. Anyway, the moral of the story is we got so in our heads that you create this entire picture of what this thing could be. So that's why I asked if you were on drugs, just to like cover all bases. Because
were you on drugs?
I wasn't on drugs. I don't do drugs. But I'm saying during Dad's honeymoon, maybe he did. He dabbled in a little bit of LSD, a little bit of shrooms.
Also, you can convince yourself the other way and be like, "Oh, it was just the rain, and it was just an automatic light." But honestly, you have no idea. It could have been something.
Well, at the end of the day, we're living in a simulation, so honestly, it doesn't fucking matter. You can believe whatever the hell you want to believe.
True.
Yeah, I was never really into drugs, but I did eat acid once, and it was horrible.
Ooh, how much? You did too much.
Well, here's a story. We were at a nightclub near your grandparents' house, and this kid I grew up with came up and goes, "You want some Purple Dragon?" And we're like, "What the fuck is that?" And he opened it up, and there's like these little tiny paper squares with dipped in acid. And I'm like, I was like 20 years old. I'm like crazy as fuck. I was like, okay, we'll give it a shot.
Anything called Purple Dragon, I would avoid.
Me and two of my friends went back to my house, and we each ate a hit, and like an hour goes by, and I'm like, this shit sucks, man. We got ripped off, and let's eat another one.
Oh God.
So like another hour goes by, and I'm watching a Clint Eastwood movie, like an old Western, and the TV started getting real blurry. And I'm like, dude, fix the TV. Something's wrong with it. He's like, no, I don't think it's the TV. I think it's us. And it just got progressively worse as the night went on. And one of my friends, I made him, he couldn't drive on this shit. I was like, you got to stay home. You stay here with me. And I'm laying in bed and I couldn't sleep. And I'm looking and there's little spaceships would fly up in front of my face and they would go toot toot and smoke will come out of the little stack. And then they take off. And I'm like, oh my God, this is horrible. And it lasted for like 12 hours. I even tried to drive to work. He tried to jump out of the second story window because he was freaking out. He goes, I got to get out of here. And he's opening the window. I'm like, no, lay back down and stop. And then the next morning I had to get ready for work and I'm taking a shower and the shower was like 20 feet deep.
Oh my God.
And the water seemed like it was coming out of the shower like hard as shit. Like it was like intensified times 10. And then when I was blowed, because I had really thick hair and I had to blow dry it back then, sparks, like little lightning bolts were coming out of the brush. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm driving to work and I didn't even know what I was doing. All I could hear was my tires screeching because I was swerving all over the road. And I was dating a girl that lived in an apartment nearby and I just went to her house and stayed there the rest of the day. I just called in sick.
So it wasn't a good experience. Like you didn't want to do it again after that.
It's fucking horrible.
See, that's why I'm so worried to take shrooms or something. I want to try it because
that shrooms was nothing compared to that. We used to eat shrooms like all the time back then, and I saw somebody's face melt. Lights would get intensified, like traffic lights or street lights, but it wasn't anything like acid. That was fucking horrible. That was the first and the last time. I just did it to try it because I was bored.
That's crazy. I can't.
But mushrooms, yeah, you just eat a handful of them and you actually laugh your ass off. Like you laugh like so hard that it's painful.
Well, the one time that I smoked with Claudia, which was like a super long time ago, we were laughing. So, this is the only time I've ever seen Claudia smoke, but we were laughing so hard that we
were
couldn't
both in
breathe.
high school.
Yeah, we were laughing to the point where like you can actually die because you can't get enough air and you're like
at nothing. Well,
at nothing, yeah.
It's because Nick started laughing and he was laughing so hard that he was silent.
Weren't we like staring? There was something playing on the TV. Everyone was silent. We were just like staring at the TV.
Like a baby show. No, but that was after the fact.
Suddenly we just started like
get super hungry.
No, honestly.
Yeah, well, I actually smoked weed for the first time in like a year at this cabin trip that we went to, and this guy gave me this weed. It was called Diesel, and we called Diesel. Diesel reminds me of an angry, like aggressive little dog or something, like Diesel. You shouldn't be smoking anything called Diesel. I took one hit of this and it felt like I did like 10 blunts or something from one hit. And I was like,
yeah, this
is why I don't do it anymore, because I mean, I felt fine.
I don't like feeling out of control of my
Well, that's what I like
mind.
about the medical marijuana, because my doctor, got me all set up on that. And I take it sometimes at night, like around 5 o'clock, and you just feel kind of numb. You don't feel, there's no paranoia. It's real clean. You don't, you might, like I watched the Shane Gillis Netflix special and I was high as fuck and I was laughing my ass off. It was literally,
it makes everything funnier.
Yeah, I took a whole one just to see what it would do, and I was like, oh my God, I was like fucking couldn't uncontrollably laughing.
We got into this debate last time because Kennedy is very like pro weed. What is your perspective on it being legalized?
I think it's a good thing. It's not like it's like a big deal. People are going to do it anyway. The only reason the feds don't want it to be legal is because they make so much money off that. They make billions off the seizures. I mean, like 4 or 5 years ago, their total seizure for the year in America was like $12 billion. You want to give that shit up? And plus, in some like southern towns, like if there's a sheriff and 3 deputies and they pull you over and you're a drug dealer and you got $100K, they get to split that up. They don't have to turn it in. They can automatically split it up between the 4 of them.
Well, now they're just taxing the shit out of it like they do with alcohol.
Yeah,
so they're still making the money back, just a different way.
It's expensive because you can, like, if you go to a dispensary, you can get the smoke. You can smoke it. You can eat edibles, or you can get a tincture that you put under your tongue. Mm-hmm. And the tinctures are probably the best way to go because it's fast acting. You put it under your tongue for 30 seconds, and then you're like high as fuck. But it's the kind of high where you're not paranoid. You could actually like code if you wanted to. Mm. I wouldn't recommend driving because I tried to move my car out of the garage for a minute and had difficulty.
Yeah, that's not good.
But
Yeah,
no, I think it's good. And it helps. It does help pain because they mix it with like CBD and they put other things called terpenes and limonene in there. And you can get stuff like to make your sexual experience more enhanced. That, the pain, relaxation, help you sleep better. Because when you get older, man, sleep's like evades you big time. If you get 5 hours sleep a night, you're lucky.
Yeah. Well,
Like
I actually wanted to ask you about this. What is the hardest part of getting older? Like, what do we have to look forward to?
Just the lack of sleep, and if you work out, it's not going to be as bad. People that don't work out, I mean, like the pain clinic I go to, people that are my age, they're like can barely move and are decrepit. Mm-hmm. They look like they're 1,000 fucking years old, and some of them are only in their 50s. Mm. And they're taking massive amounts of painkillers and anti-inflammatories so they can, strong shit, so they can function.
So what advice do you have to people listening who don't want to be decrepit when they're 50?
Eat clean, exercise as much as possible. Food and diet is the main thing. Stop drinking alcohol. I haven't drinking alcohol in almost 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in September.
What changed there? Because when we were younger, you drank a lot of alcohol.
No, I didn't really drink that. I didn't drink in my 20s.
You drank a lot of alcohol.
The only time I drank is when I got divorced because I started taking my friend out, and we just got into a whole thing, and then it ended. Pretty much. I don't really like.
What made it end? What made you decide?
I don't really like being drunk.
What made you decide to stop?
Just
like go cold turkey.
Well, when I got pancreatitis, they thought it was from alcohol. And I'm like, I don't drink anymore, and it was because I had my doctor missed a gallstone being passed, and it aggravated the pancreas, and it got inflamed and just got worse and worse. And I was sick for a whole year. And one doctor recommended that don't take any alcohol because that could set it off again. So I just never drank after that.
Do you wish there was anything that you would have done when you were younger to help you out that would have helped you out now?
I wish I started TRT like 15 years ago.
Can you describe what TRT is?
It's hormone therapy, testosterone replacement therapy. People think I look like this because I'm on TRT. No, dumb motherfuckers, because I go to the gym 5 days a week and I don't eat a lot of garbage. I don't drink soda. I eat low sugar, low carb diet. Like somebody I spotted a dude at the gym the other day, and I told him, I'm 61. He goes, yeah, but you're on TRT. I'm like, that just gives me back my hormones I had when I was 20. It doesn't make me fucking Superman. I said, I have friends on TRT and they're fucking, they look nothing like me.
So it helps you get your energy and mood up pretty much.
It's your energy, your mood, and it gives you back your hormones, because once your hormones get to a certain level, you can't function, you're depressed. And it's the same with women. They have hormone therapy for women, but they have to take testosterone, progesterone, and estrogen, and they do it with a pellet. Yeah,
well, we have friends who are getting older, and they're in their like 30s, early 30s, and their testosterone's dropping, and they've told us that their mood and energy levels go down to almost where they feel sort of depressed.
Yeah, people can't get out, like Mr. He couldn't get out of bed. Same thing with he said the same thing. His levels got so low he couldn't function, couldn't get out of bed, didn't want to do anything, was depressed, had no sex drive, and that's the problem. That's because of the diets nowadays and the pollution and all the other crap they talk about. People, their levels start to drop from the time you're 20. As you get older, they're dropping. And mine were you should be like 700 to 900 nanograms per deciliter. I was down to 340. Mr. was down to 250. So
I know people who are in like the hundreds.
Yeah, as soon as you get on it, like I get 200 milligrams I do 200 milligrams per week. As soon as you get on it, and say 2 to 4, maybe 6 weeks, you feel like a totally different human being. You feel like you did when you were young. And I can wake up at 4 and go till 8 o'clock and I'm fine.
What do women do for that? Like what's the replacement for women once you're hormones
Women's
start?
testosterone levels are between 60 and 300. They can do injections, but most of the clinics usually give them a pellet that has estrogen and testosterone, and then they take progesterone in a pill.
It's like 2 milligrams testosterone as compared to whatever a man would take.
Yeah, a woman wants to get up around 300. A man, my levels get up as high as 1500.
So the goal is to maintain the same hormone levels from when you're in your 20s,
Healthy
basically.
hormone. I mean, there's a healthy range for everyone.
So what did people do before that? They were just depressed and kind of like...
they give people antidepressant drugs. It's part of the big pharma's ploy to make money. They don't want to tell people that, if you take they make the hormones, but there's more money in the other drugs than there are in the hormones. Mm-hmm. But now that, because during COVID they made it legal for them to do doctor visits online, and you could get your hormones from there's a zillion clinics now. Mm-hmm. That dude Derek from More Place More Dates, he owns a clinic now.
So do you inject yourself?
Yeah, now I do it. I was doing it here in this little muscle above your hip, and I think I got too much scar tissue because my levels started to drop, so I wasn't getting absorption. So like 3 months ago, I switched to my thigh and back to my butt. I go back and forth, and from here, it's like a hand width down from here to here. You want to stay on the outside of your thigh and give yourself an injection. You get better absorption in the thigh and the shoulder, but and it was sore as fuck. Mm-hmm. Like I could barely walk the first time I did it in my thigh. So I'll do it in the thigh, and then I'll do it in the butt. I haven't tried the shoulder because a lot of people say the shoulder gets really sore. Because you're supposed to put one arm across like this, and then just nail it and plunge it. You do have to do it slow. You don't want to push it in quick because you want to get even dispersion.
It's a muscular injection?
Yeah, it's the 25 gauge needle. It's about that long.
I think a lot of people don't do it.
I could never do that myself.
Exactly. I think a lot of guys don't do it because they're scared to give themselves the needle.
Well, some clinics are telling people they can, because the dosage is small. You can use an insulin needle and do a fat injection. What the fuck do they call that? Subcutaneous injection. But I don't think you get the same absorption. But once I started going back to my thigh and my ass, my levels went back up, and I started feeling and looking different again.
So you only need something like this if your testosterone is in the lower 200s, 300s.
Yeah, I mean, most of the clinics aren't going to
Brandon could never do it.
Give it to you.
Mine's still pretty high right now, but I was thinking to take it maybe when I was 35. I just don't see the need right now because I'm at 750.
Over the fucking your needle problem.
Oh, that? Oh.
You could not inject yourself.
Okay, so
you don't even feel it.
I don't know why. I can watch really gory movies and stuff, but when it comes to my own blood leaving my body, I always have to warn people when I give blood. I'm like, okay,
he gets white.
I'm like, ma'am, I might pass out right now. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm not gonna try to bottle this up. I will get woozy and I will probably pass out because they bring out 10 little vials, and I'm like,
don't look at it.
I'm like, you're taking 10, and she's like, yeah, it's a full blood panel. I'm like, I can only do 3. After 3, I start going blind.
No, that's because you look at it. Don't look at it.
That happened to him do you remember when I got my wisdom teeth pulled and you guys went with me and we came out and I spit a big wad of blood in the parking lot, and Brandon got sick as shit the rest of the day.
Yeah, and it comes out so fast. She's like, the ladies are always like, whoa, it's coming out really fast. I'm like, yeah, because I'm nervous as fuck. My heart rate's probably 180.
It's you're hydrated, because when I donate blood every 2 months,
your veins are very plump.
Yeah, when I donate blood, they always are flipped out because my veins are so bulgy. But I filled bags up faster than people that started before me. She said it's because you're hydrated.
That was good.
She said it's because you're hydrated.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like medical stuff. I try to avoid hospitals as much as I can because they creep me out. Even though my girlfriend is a nurse. So if I have any problems, she'll just take care of me.
When you give blood, you give a whole pint in the bag's this big.
See,
and then they take 6 more vials
you
from that.
You think you could get Botox?
That I can, because it's not draining my blood. Something about visualizing myself as a meat bag and draining my blood.
What if you just don't look at it?
I know it's happening. I feel the tube in my arm and I know it's happening. But then again, okay, when I get the IVs at LifeMed, I don't get that problem at all.
So they stab me and I'm good. It's just the sight of blood.
exiting, the thought of the blood exiting my body makes me realize how fragile and weak we are. And it makes me want to pass out. I would fucking die. In the wilderness, I would be good until somebody like cut me with an axe or something. And then I'm like,
so what if
leave me to bleed out, guys. I'm not going to make it.
If you got like a wound and needed to get stitches, do you think you would faint at that?
Okay, well, I'll give you an example probably, because one time I had an ingrown hair like close to my groin.
You chose to not get numbed for that.
Listen to this. I and an ingrown hair like around like this area near my groin. It wasn't infected, but it was like it was filling up. It was inflamed. It was like filling up with like blood or something. I don't know. It didn't look great. So I was like, I usually don't go to the doctor for these kind of things, but I was like, I have to go. So I went, and she's like, I can drain it for you right now. Do you want painkiller? And I was like, I don't need any painkiller.
I cannot believe you would say that as if that's barbaric.
This woman takes out a knife, a medical knife, and starts cutting into my leg. I started feeling, at first I was like, oh, I can handle this. I started feeling so woozy, and everything started going black, like when everything's fading. And she's like, are you sure you don't want painkiller? I was like, give me the fucking painkiller. I can't make this. I could hear it too. I could hear it going.
I can't believe that a medical professional would not tell you that you need to have.
I think she just saw me and was like, that's a tough guy. She's like, he doesn't need it.
There's no such thing. There's guys that look tough that get tattoos and they pass out.
Yeah, I don't have problems with that.
I look.
Dad loves giving his blood. He's like, today's blood day. Don't you give your blood every month?
Every
he does. Well, he has to because he's on whatever he does. But I used to have that problem with needles in general. Just I had a fear of getting them, and then I wanted lip filler, and I got over it because you have to get like at least.
I heard those ones hurt.
Like 20 to 30 injections in your lips.
Yeah, and they're like long needles too. You got to get it in pretty deep.
Yeah, but then after that, I remember I went and got like I think it was the COVID vaccine, and I just sat there and he did it, and that was it. Simple.
Well, getting needles in your arm and stuff isn't that doesn't bother me. What bothers me is the draining your blood. That shit's weird.
That doesn't bother me.
No, when I was in the hospital, like getting blood, because they took a lot of blood because they couldn't figure out why I had pancreatitis, and they even tested me for STDs. And the
fact that you were STD free, given how many women you've probably been with,
it blows my mind. As much as you think.
The anesthesiologist was like, Mr. Walsh, you're the healthiest person in this entire hospital, staff included. I'm like, yeah, but I'm laying here getting this procedure done. He's like, oh, and congratulations, you don't have any STDs either. I'm like, why would you test me for that? He goes, they tested you for everything, trying to figure it out. But the worst part of being in the hospital was they come in and they do this 10 point check, and they test your feet and everything else. Mm-hmm. And the first couple times they're like, roll over, I have to check your butt crack. And I'm like, no, we're not doing that.
You don't like butt play?
No, we're not doing that. So this like husky nurse came in the last day I was there, and she goes, she checked everything else. She goes, now I have to check your butt. I'm like, no, you don't. And she goes, yes, I do. And she grabbed me by the hips, flipped me the fuck over, and spread my ass cheeks and goes, we're good here. Literally said it like that. They have
to make sure you don't have
and
any
then I
wounds.
was in, and she's from Manchester, and me and my girlfriend were in the Hanover Walmart, and I saw her, and she walked by, and she's like, hi. I'm like, oh my God. She literally went like this. We're good here. Like I could feel my crack tearing.
Well, did you feel proud of that because you confronted your fears of getting your ass looked at?
No,
because as a guy, that is very invasive.
It's not necessary. Why do you need
They need to make sure you don't have pressure ulcers. That's like
I was only there for a day and a half.
Yeah, but they don't know if maybe you lay in bed at home all the time.
Have you had a prostate examination where they put their fingers up there?
No, they do that by ultrasound now and by blood test.
They do.
They don't do the old finger anymore.
I was looking forward to that. You know,
whatever, Rand. You would be fucking so scared. Probably like.
What do you mean? He would be like, he would be like, how many? They would be like, how many fingers you want? I would be like, how many can you give me? Give me the max.
Brandon, you haven't been to the doctor in probably 10 fucking years. Probably because you're just scared of getting that done.
Well, no, because I'm building it up.
No,
I've been waiting for this my whole life.
If they tried to do that, say I'd rather have it done electronically, and you get a ultrasound for your prostate. It's more accurate anyway.
But what if I wanted to opt for the old manual version? They let me.
They don't want to do that to you.
Make sure you get a lady doctor because they have smaller fingers.
I want the thick ones.
100%, they don't want to fucking do it.
They just say, let's start with one and we'll progress gently.
Yeah, just give me the pinky and then work your way up.
They use this finger
to the fist.
They use the
middle
finger banging finger. Yeah, because it's got length.
I want to run through some things real quick. Today we're gonna play a game called Papa Walsh's Shitty Life Advice. Okay. These
Why
are
is it shitty?
I'm just. It's gonna be shitty. Okay. Okay. This person asks. This is a guy asking this about a girl, or his girlfriend, or wife, or whatever.
Is it legitimate, or are you making it up?
This is legitimate.
Where did you get these?
Viewer submissions.
No, you definitely
You
didn't.
asked them for this.
These are real people. These are real people on
He
the
probably got
internet.
it from Reddit.
What country
They're
are they
real
from?
people on the internet.
What country are they from?
Let's just say
Is it from Reddit?
US. It's from Reddit, yes. Okay. Dad, how do you fart in peace when sharing a bed with a woman?
You fart.
No, I get up and because we have a bathroom in our bedroom, I go in there and fart.
God, I could never.
So
I've created the illusion with my girlfriend that I never shit or fart,
That's
seriously.
bizarre.
and she greatly appreciates it.
How do you live like
well,
that?
I actually have a story that I really didn't want to talk about, but this is probably a good time.
I
to
will
just fucking
fart
do it.
so loud on purpose.
Well, listen to this. I never fart in front of anyone.
And then I slowly look over at Jesse, and I'm like, "Damn, what was that?"
Listen to this. I never fart in front of everyone. I'm in front of anyone.
Me
I don't think I've
neither.
ever farted in
I think
front
it's
of.
rude.
I don't think I've ever farted in front
Whatever.
of.
Dad used to fart and say, "Did somebody step on a duck?"
Yeah, because you were kids.
Listen to this, because listen. I never fart in front of anyone. I've never farted in front of Claudia, Kennedy,
No,
you,
I've
Mom.
never heard you fart.
Exactly. Never any of my girlfriends. I farted in front of Kate.
By accident?
By accident. This is how it happened. This was so bad too. So it was on this trip that we went on, and she kept giving me this like bean salad stuff, like this dip for chips, and I ate a fucking ton of it. She had this huge Tupperware thing. I ate like the entire thing. So the next day, my stomach was like boiling. It was like bubbling. We were playing ping pong, and I was so focused. That I lost track of the fact that I had a stomach pain going on, and we were playing and we were close. It was like, I don't know, it was 10-10 or something. We were closely tied. It was for like the final point, and I let one out on my serve playing ping pong.
That's so embarrassing.
And I was like, she was like, did you just fart? And I could have been like, no, my foot like squeaked on like the wood or something. And I had to just admit it. And I was like, phew.
Did she laugh or
was it
did she
little?
embrace you?
No, she's really cool with it. She's fine with it. Like, I feel super comfortable around her, which is good because
did you, was it like a little squeak?
Yeah, it was like, it didn't want to come out. Like, it was like, do not let me out right now. And I wasn't thinking about it and it slipped out. So
You can't hold in your farts.
I was like, is
unless
what
you
it
want a
is.
horrible fucking stomach ache.
I mean, it was bad.
Actually, that happened to me at the gym like 2 years ago. And luckily, all the people around me, because some of them were women, had their earphones on.
Oh, I guarantee you, this poor man. One time I was at the gym and I had headphones on, I think, but I don't think I had music playing at the time. He was doing those like decline sit-ups on that thing where your legs go into it. You know what I'm talking about? And he farted so fucking loud, and I know he like kind of froze for a second, and I was like the only one around, and I just played off like I didn't hear it, but I was like, ew. See, in my opinion, it's like if you have to fart, just go somewhere and fart. When I'm home, I will.
Oh, you should see the men's and hear the men's locker room. I'll be in the sauna and it'll be late at night, so there'll be like 2 other guys in the entire locker room, and you hear a guy let one loose. He's like, he lets it loose. He's like, and it just keeps going.
Ew.
I'm like, holy shit! Like they don't think anyone else is in there or
Well,
something.
they're old. That happens when they're old.
No,
guys,
they don't care.
Old guys don't give a fuck. I'll be putting my stuff in a locker. There'll be an old guy next to me, bent over. I can like see his hairy ass crack out of the corner of my eye, and this man gives no fucks. Like he doesn't care. He's like I think they want you to see them naked.
They just simply don't care.
Well, because nobody else gets to see them naked because they don't have sex anymore.
When I had to do like
Nobody wants to fuck an old wrinkly guy.
I had to do clinicals in a nursing home, and they just don't care. They have no modesty.
No, they like my girlfriend, because I can't say her name. She says old people that she examines, it's like a day out for them because nobody in their family gives them attention. So going there, they're telling stories while they're getting examined and having a good old time. And she's like, yeah,
Yeah, Kate told me the same thing. They always try to tell her their life story, and then she has to like somehow wiggle her way out of the room.
Yeah, that used to happen to me all the time.
You have to listen to it. It's
As
like,
a nursing student, I didn't give a shit though, because I had nothing better to do. So I would just stand there and let them tell me their whole life story.
I mean, sometimes it's interesting. Like a lot of like older people have a lot of wise things to tell you, but when they're rambling nonstop and you have other things to do, I mean, you got to tell them.
I don't want to hear it. I don't give a fuck. You know, there's a guy at the gym. He's like 80-some years old. He must forget that he talks to me because he tells me the same thing. He goes, "Yeah, I had cancer. Now I'm cancer free, but they told me to get off my ass and do something. So I come here." And every time I see him, he tells me the same story.
Aw, he's proud of himself.
I mean, I listen to him. I'm like, you know, I'm nice. I'm polite, but in reality,
I'm proud of those 80-year-old guys who are like still going to the gym though and trying.
Well, they're trying. I mean, we got people in our gym with fucking walkers and shit going from machine to machine.
Good for them.
Yeah,
they're doing
I give them credit.
something,
They're doing something because they probably started too late. I mean, they should have started when they were young. Because if you don't exercise, and like our goal is to build as much muscle mass before we get old and decrepit to carry us through. You know? And that's the whole key, because you want to keep your bones strong, your joints strong, your muscles strong, your heart, all your organs good. Cut out the sugar and the carbs, and stick to mainly protein and good fats.
Yeah. Well, they're trying, man. Okay, we have a few more here, and then we'll end it. Dad, how do you reply to a girl who canceled your date plans last minute? So this is somebody asking for advice.
Asking us, or just asking in general?
Asking you.
What's the question again?
How do you respond to a girl who just canceled your date? So imagine you're about to go on a date with a girl. She calls you and she cancels your date.
I'd just be like, no problem. I probably didn't really feel like going anyway.
You don't think it would crush your ego or anything?
It's never happened to me. Look at me.
So, but what advice? Not about you, but what advice do you have for this person?
Just she wasn't worth your time. There's no sense in getting mad. Why get mad if she had a legitimate excuse, like she had to take her cat to the vet or somebody in her family died? But if she canceled your date because another better option came along, then you probably need to work on yourself. Maybe go to the gym, get some facials, get a haircut, trim that beard up. Look in the mirror and go,
would I want to date me?
What woman am I worthy of? Because all these guys in the gym are like, they want their 4s, 3s, and 4s, and they want 10s. Boys, that ain't happening. That's never going to happen. You're just going to have to fucking settle or have a spankathon every Friday night.
So what words of advice do you have? Are you familiar with the incel community?
No, I mean,
incels are...
Sounds like a battery.
Incel? Duracell. The incel community basically despises women. It's like similar to like a...
It's involuntary celibacy.
Involuntary...
We need to get them their own island. They don't belong with the rest of the population. I see them at the gym. They're the ones wearing pajama pants and what are those Crocs to the gym, and they got arms this big, and they're going, "Oh, look at me." No, go home. Stay home.
You kind of just described what I wear to the gym.
No, you don't wear. You wear like 80s
I wear Crocs.
pants.
Well,
He's talking
when
about
you look
the
like you do, you can
pants.
get away with it. But if you're these little fuzzy-haired kids and they got Crocs with little stickers on them with kitty cats and doggies, no. Stay the fuck home.
Brandon wears Harry Potter
You're not
Crocs.
done. Your mom's not done breastfeeding you.
Oh my God. Oh man. Dad, was I breastfed until 11?
No, probably like the first year.
Okay, that's good. Okay, last one. This guy just got a hookup pregnant. So somebody he hooked up with, he got pregnant. What should he do? What should he do with the baby?
It depends on what he wants to do. Does he want to have a child? Is he into this girl deep enough that he can legitimately marry her? Is he in love with her? Because if he's not in love with her and it's going to ruin his life and her life, she can either have the kid and give it up for adoption, or which I don't really approve of, but get an abortion. Because why are you going to bring a kid into the world and that kid's not going to have, the kid's not going to have any option or choice of his life until he gets older.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So if
Why don't you approve of abortion?
don't have it. I mean, I don't. I think it's wrong after 6 weeks.
That's a topic
why did you
for
get
another
pregnant?
time.
Why were you irresponsible and get pregnant in the first place? Wear a fucking condom,
Because shit happens.
or pull out, or those two options: condom and pull out.
Yeah, my confusion is always how does it happen in the first place? Like why didn't
Okay, but if a
why didn't
woman
she use a
if a woman
condom?
was assaulted or if she was raped and she gets pregnant
That's a completely
that way,
that was not what this piece of advice
No,
was for.
well, I'm just saying
That's a completely different topic and scenario.
Abortion, in my opinion, is a medical procedure, and that is something that is only between that person and their doctor and nobody else.
Well, at
And
the
it
end of the
should stay
day,
that
I don't
way.
care what decisions people make with their lives. I have no control over anyone else. I don't give a fuck what anyone else does. I just don't understand how some people think they can just have endless sex and not have a baby. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well,
think people
in
know
this
that.
day and age, why isn't the girl on birth control? It's not that big of a deal.
Well,
It's not that
birth control is actually terrible for you.
Yeah, I got off of it.
Like Claudia got off of it. Kate
Well,
got off of
wear
it.
a fucking rubber.
Well, that's what I have to do now. I always hated wearing condoms. I hated it. Now I have to wear
I think
them.
women, it should go like women. I mean, given this is a little more risky, I guess, but if you're tracking your temperature every day, which I do with the Aura Ring, you know exactly what's part of the cycle your body's going through, and you know when is safe and not safe, basically. And that's what I do, and I feel like a lot of other women do it now.
You
too.
shouldn't be bringing kids into this world anyway, unless you're like super financially stable. Because once you have kids, the money starts flying out the fucking windows, man. Clothes, diapers, food, doctor visits. Even if you have insurance.
Claudia's in the position now where if she did have a kid, I think it would be completely fine. Like you're not trying to have a kid, but you also, if it happened, you'd be like, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, we'd be
I
fine.
think children.
Yeah, you have a house, you have cats, you're getting a dog. So,
I think kids. You should kennel train your kids.
Dad,
is that what you did to us? Is that why we're so fucked up?
we're actually not
You're not
surprised.
fucked
Hey guys,
up.
you could come out of the kennel today.
You are what you are because I didn't let you grow up to be weak and
Dad got
and
lucky
vulnerable.
with how we turned out.
Yeah, you really did. I could have been a fucking psychopath
From what?
from you.
That's the way I was raised. That's the way generations before me were
Look
raised.
at you now.
Yeah, I'm normal compared to everybody else. I'm not one of those fucking.
Oh my.
There we go.
Sorry.
No, this isn't that bad. I thought it was going to be really bad. But anyway, that's the last piece of advice, Dad. Thanks for this official interview. We'll see you guys next time. Thanks for
Bye.
listening.